NextBrain will automatically set the type of problem you want to solve once you've loaded your dataset and chosen a target variable. The first thing NextBrain will do is to detect if your target variable is continuous or categorical. The values of a continuous variable are obtained by measuring something. For example, a distance, the number of persons in a room, or the time you spend doing some action. Categorical variables have values that can only be one of a finite set of values. In binary variables, for example, the values can only be 2. Binary variables examples are yes or no, 1 or 2, and high or low. When the values can be a set of more than 2 values, we refer to them as multi-class variables. For example, if we want to classify a group of people by their hair color, we will have 4 classes or possible values: dark, brown, red, and yellow. When we have a categorical target and more than one column as predictor, our problem will be a binary classification problem. If our target is multi-class, our problem will be a multi-class classification problem. When our target is a continuous problem, we will have a regression problem. This last type of problem is also known in statistics as a multivariate regression problem. We can change the problem type after NextBrain has selected it. Nevertheless, it will modify our data set a little. For example, if we have a regression problem, we can transform it into a binary or a multi-class classification problem. To do so, we have to transform our target into a binary 1 or into a multi-class 1. We must take into account that, doing so, we are changing the meaning of our model in terms of prediction and insight generation. Another case is when we have some classification or regression problem and we want to solve a correlation one. Correlation measures how 2 variables are correlated. As we have already selected one target variable, if we want to move into a correlation problem, we will have to select another variable, ignoring the others. When we have a classification or regression problem with a date-time series column as one of the predictors, we have a special case of model transformation. A date-time series column must take the form of a day, month, year, or any other way to represent a calendar date. To address classification and regression problems, the NextBrain will split this date-time column into many categorical columns, representing, for example, the day of the week, the month of the year, or the week of the year that represents this date. Forecasting problems are a completely other type of problem. This task tries to learn how a variable changes over time in order to predict what will happen in the future. So this problem will need of 2 variables, a continuous variable changing over time, and a date-time variable. If we have a dataset with multiple columns and a target column, and one of the rows is a date-time column, we just unselect the other rows and keep only the target and the date-time column. As a result, we could build a forecasting problem for the target column. Once we have defined our problem type, we can click on Create Model.